to your practice. Namaste. Happy brand new week for all of us. Let's go ahead and begin today lying on the ground. So we'll put our feet on the ground and roll the spine onto the earth. As you get here, let's try out having one hand at the chest, one hand at the belly, and maybe you choose the opposite hands. We kind of tend to get into these grooves or patterns. So if you have a hand that normally comes to the top and one that normally comes to the belly, go ahead and switch those up. And then we'll soften our shoulders onto the ground. So maybe that top hand is kind of sliding over to one side of the chest. And we're just lightly having our hands on the body so we can feel the breath as it comes in. And feel it as it departs. So as the breath comes in, there's an expanding, a lifting, a spreading out in all directions. And as you breathe out, there's a soft drawing back towards your center. Let's try to keep the muscles of the shoulders, the back, the hips pretty relaxed. So maybe you want to walk the feet out a little wider, let the knees knock towards each other. That way the legs aren't having to do too much work here. So the body is getting softer, heavier, doing less, which is such a treat in a world where we have to do so much. And for the next several breaths, let's see if we can have the chest, the upper body, the hand that's up there, not feel a lift or an expansion, but rather we're going to bring the breath softly in through the nose, softly down past the throat, past the chest, all the way down to the belly. It'll feel like the belly's expanding as the diaphragm muscle draws down. That's gently massaging our internal organs and letting the breath expand from the bottom of the lungs and rib cage. And then eventually up, up, up. The ribs expand and stretch out, stretching those little intercostal muscles. And then letting that go and starting again. Taking your time with these slow, full breaths. So our full breathing can be a practice of cultivating patience. You made the time to be here. There's nothing else to do, nowhere else to be, but there might still be a pattern or a temptation to rush through the breathing. So let this be time to practice going slow. This month we're exploring Asteya. So as you continue breathing, I'll share just a short reading from Nikolai Bachman's book, The Path of the Yoga Sutras. The opposite of not taking is taking or stealing. So yoga guides us to practice not taking, not stealing what is not ours. And it can have many forms. If we interrupt someone during a conversation, we're stealing their right to be heard. Plagiarizing or taking undue credit for someone else's ideas is also a form of stealing. And obviously, stealing something that does not belong to you from someone else. The opposite of not taking is taking or stealing, which can have many forms. If we interrupt someone during a conversation, we steal their right to be heard. Plagiarizing or taking undue credit for someone else's ideas is also stealing, and of course, stealing something physical. Something to think about as we go into our week. Some of us, myself included, have that habit of usually getting really excited and wanting to say something right away while the thought's with you. We can create a little more space, slow down, be aware of it, not steal someone else's time to talk. All right, you can keep these breaths going, but let's start to move the legs like windshield wipers, side to side. So trying to keep the slow and intentional and very full breaths might mean that we need to move the legs a little slower than our usual habit. And maybe you notice how as the legs fall to one side, part of the hips, part of the spine starts to lift off of the ground. And then notice as the legs come back to neutral, how the body goes back to the earth, and then the legs fall to the other side. Things start to lift and shift. Take it side to side, another couple breaths. Oh, lovely. Sorry, I had the music still playing. If you could hear it, I'm open to that, but YouTube might ping us and make it a little difficult for people watching the replays. All right, friends, as you're ready, let's draw both knees into the chest. And now we can rock like a ball side to side, or maybe you like to go forwards and backwards. And just see how it feels to try to do that same breath. So we probably notice some restriction with the legs pulled in. We're compressing the belly, the front of the body, and there's just less space for the body to expand with breath. We've got the back pressed into the ground, the legs pressed into the belly. So without forcing it, let's see if we can expand into our side body. So if you were moving, you could come to stillness, legs gently hugged in, and we'll just try one breath. Imagine like we're, I don't know, smushing an ice cream sandwich. So the breath is expanding out the sides. Maybe even all the way up to the armpits, down to the hips. Let the breath go. Put your left foot on the ground, cross your right leg over the left, and then hug the legs in towards your chest. Any amount, any way that feels good. For some of us, this might look like our legs are crossed if we're sitting in a chair, or for some, it might look like figure four. See what feels right. Let's go ahead and stretch the bottom leg, the left leg, up towards the sky. You could spread the toes of both feet wide, move the ankles in some circles. And then we'll just switch sides so you can unwind the legs, maybe give it a second, and then switch. Left leg folded over the right leg, legs hugging in towards your chest. So looking for a stretch in now it's the left outer hip. Also some nice release for the low back. And then we could spread our toes wide, stretch the right leg up to the sky, maybe move the ankles around a bit. Give it another breath. Good, and we'll release, hugging yourself into a ball. See if you can rock yourself up. We'll come to an easy seat. We'll be here for just a moment. Crossing your legs in whatever way is comfortable. If you need to stretch the legs long, that's fine too. Fingertips to the ground on either side of you. And if you can't reach, you could grab a pillow or a block, or just imagine the fingertips reaching to the earth. Try to flip the palms forward so we're opening up through the heart a bit. And rather than puffing the chest up, let's even try to cave the body for just a little bit. So just a little bit of a round through the spine. Take one more of those big breaths. So imagine that the breath itself is filling you up and lifting and expanding your posture from the inside out. So we might still end up with a little bit of a lifted, puffed chest, but it's like we're originating it from the inside. And then try to keep that posture while we stretch the left arm up and over. So you can walk the right fingertips away from you. Try to keep your left hip really rooted down. and really stretch the left arm. So this is an active stretch. We're reaching. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Sit up tall. Breathe in, expanding yourself from the inside out. And then take it the other way. Right arm up and over. Left fingertips walking away from you. Your right hip is rooting down. And come back to center. Okay, let's come on into tabletop. As you arrive in tabletop, just a couple rounds of cow and cat. Inhaling Bilalasana, cow drops down. Exhale, Marjarasana, cat, spine lifts up. And good time to reconnect with the breath if you lost track of it. Inhaling as the belly drops. Exhaling as the spine lifts. And if the familiar, for a lot of us, this might be really familiar, doing it many times a week. Maybe we mix it up a little. So as you exhale into cat, then pause there, inhale in cat. Exhale, cow, belly drops down. So inhale, cat, switching up the breath. Exhale, cow. One more time. All right, come through neutral, engage your core, and walk your hands forward. So coming into puppy pose. Tops of the feet rooting down. Imagine that the shins could root down into the ground. Core is engaged, trying to feel stretch through the chest here, through the side body. Engage the core. Imagine the space between the shoulder blades lifting up to the sky as you walk your hands back under your shoulders. Now tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. This big triangle shape never has to be still. You might be someone who likes to sway or shake out the head. Maybe stillness is what your body needs. A few breaths of finding your way into this down dog. Keeping in mind that we want the head to hang heavy. We want the wrists to be as light as possible. Our arms, our shoulders are in flexion, so they're sliding up towards the ears. We don't need to crunch them down. And we can always have the knees a little bit soft while we're trying to stretch the heels towards the ground, but we're not sweating it. All right, big breath in. Let it go. Take another breath, focusing on expanding, imagining expanding from the inside out. Soft knees, walk the hands back to meet the feet. Forward folding at the back of your mat. You can lift your hands and roll the wrists a little. On an inhale, lift up halfway. Try to get the head above the heart and look around a little bit. So stretching the neck, strengthening the back body, and letting some blood flow come out of the head. From your half lift, engage the core, engage the glutes, sink the hips down, hands to heart or the sky, chair pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Sink the hips a little lower, inhale, and stand up tall on your exhale. Take a couple breaths here, feeling the feet connected to the ground. Maybe rock forwards and backwards, or lift and lower the toes. Shift the weight into your left leg. Coming to the right toes, that's fine, or lift the right knee up towards your chest. Option to pass through warrior three, so kicking the right leg back, depends on your space, perhaps. And then coming right back up, standing upright, maybe the right knee lifts towards your chest, and then we'll step the right foot forward. You might need to put a little bend in the left knee. So the right heel is on the ground. Slow motion, shift the weight into your right leg. Feel the right foot ground down. Maybe you keep your left toes connected to the earth. Maybe you lift the left knee towards your chest. Maybe you stretch the left leg back, warrior three. Just passing through as you breathe, coming upright. Set the left heel down. Roll the weight into the left foot. Same story. Balancing on the left leg. Maybe warrior three. Coming back upright. Shifting the weight into the right leg. One more time through this. Carrying the weight on the right leg. That alone is enough. You might be adding on the warrior three. And eventually finding your mountain pose. Pause and notice, how is the heart rate? How is the breath? And then on an inhale, let's reach up. On an exhale, fold down. Breathing in, halfway lift. Breathing out, fold down, hands to the ground, step the right foot straight back, drop that knee, untuck the toes, and see about stretching the arms up. When you get there, you can interlace your hands behind the head, engage the core. So for now, we're trying to stack shoulders pretty well over hips if you can, and then lean over to your left, right elbow reaching up to the sky. Imagining the top of the right foot, the shin and knee pushing down, the left foot pushing down, we're grounding into the earth. And as that right elbow stretches up to the sky, try to notice, am I feeling any stretch sensation through the rib cage, the maybe armpit area, rib cage, abdominal muscles, side body, the low back, maybe even into the hip flexors and quadriceps. What am I feeling? And bring yourself upright. Big inhale. Exhale, take a little twist to the left. Return facing forward, hands to the ground. Tuck the right toes, find plank pose. Breathing in plank pose. You are welcome to stay here or shift the heels to the right, passing through a side plank. Left hand might reach to the sky. Beautiful. And then come right back to plank if you did it. One more inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down, pointing the toes back. On an inhale, find your cobra or maybe your upward facing dog. On your exhale, lower back down and find downward facing dog. If you'd rather take a break here, that's always fine. Taking a few breaths. From this down dog, three-legged dog, right leg lifting up and back. Come to plank pose, right knee towards your nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, do that crunch again. One more time. Inhale, stretch the leg up. Exhale, now step the right foot to the top of the mat. Drop the left knee, untucking the toes. Imagine rooting down through all that, and then try to come upright, stretching the arms up. Shoulders pretty well stacked over hips. So the points of contact with the earth, they're actively rooting down. The right foot, the left knee, shin, top of foot. Then we can interlace the hands behind the head. Lift the heart and then lift the left elbow, tilting over to the side. Breathe here. Actively stretch the left elbow up to the sky. Might feel good to rest the head back into the hands a little bit more so we're not straining the neck. And bring your awareness to that left side of the body. As you breathe deeply, what do I feel? Where do I feel it? Becoming curious about your experience right here and now, not stealing it from yourself by being distracted, thinking of things to come later or things that happened in the past. Our practice asks us to be right here. All right, come back to neutral. Big inhale. Exhale, little twist to the right. Inhale, return to face forward. Bring your hands on down to the ground. Plank pose again. Good. So in plank pose, you could stay here breathing, pushing the ground away, or heels to the left, shifting the weight into the left hand, trying to stretch the right arm up to the sky for a breath in Vashisthasana side plank. And we'll return to plank pose, breathing in, I am strong. Breathing out, I can let go all the way down. Point the toes back, find your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Big inhale. Good. Exhale, lower down, downward facing dog. You could also take a break. We'll be here 3 or so full breaths. All right, meeting in downward facing dog, 3-legged dog, left leg to the sky. Plank, left knee to nose. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, plank, crunch it in. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, plank, squeeze it in and step the left foot up. Good, whatever it takes, giant step up, forward fold. While we're in this forward fold, if you have blocks available, you might set them on their highest setting, right under your shoulders. And then we will come upright, stretch to the sky, and find mountain pose. Pause and notice what's alive in my body right now. What am I feeling? All right, now we're going to play with some balance stuff. If it's not working for you, you can either keep it really small, don't do it, or move to a wall. The idea here is we'll sit into chair pose. Hands can be at your heart. Engaging the gluteal muscles, engaging the core, hands pressing into each other. Then shift the weight into your left leg, drawing the right knee up towards your chest. Now, if the right toes coming to the ground is enough to throw the balance off, then that's a good place to stay. You could cross the right ankle in front of the left. If you're able to, lift that right leg and cross it over the left. And this is, again, where some of us might do more of a figure 4. Some of us might have the legs crossed more tightly. So we're trying to balance on the left leg while we're coming into some version of figure 4 and getting a stretch through the right hip. The left toes are spread wide and they're light on the ground, and maybe we start to reach for those blocks. You could do that by bending deeply into the left knee or by hinging at the hips and folding down. Maybe if you get to the blocks, you do a little combination, keeping the glutes engaged. And maybe someone out there sinks the hips all the way down and comes into a toe balance. Breathe with wherever you are. Notice if the mind is kicking up any judgments, or maybe your mind's being a supportive little cheerleader. Let's go that direction. I guess the real goal will be to be totally neutral and just observe. What am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? From wherever you went, let's work our way out. See if you can exit the way you entered. Eventually coming to mountain pose. And then notice any sensations, areas of experience. What are we feeling? My left calf muscle feels a little tingly. All right, hands to heart into your chair pose. Shifting the weight into the right leg, maybe coming to the left toes, keeping them grounded as you cross the left leg over the right. Maybe lifting the left leg and being able to hook it in some way over the right leg. Keep your glutes engaged. They're big, strong muscles. They will help you balance. And then your choice, maybe you want to reach for those blocks. So getting lots of strengthening in the standing leg and the foot, the ankle, the whole leg. Getting a good stretch in the outer hip of the lifted leg. Maybe something nice in the low back. Maybe lowering all the way down. Trying out a toe balance. Awesome. Breathing wherever you are. Give it another breath. And then we'll work our way out. As you come upright, coming back to your mountain pose, pausing and noticing. Can we just observe sensations without immediately reacting? And then soft knees, bounce it out. We'll do 3 breaths, breathing in through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. From that jostling, shaking, come to stillness, standing for a moment. And then coming down to the ground. So we'll go from that movement right into stillness. We'll do our twists before we get back up. As long as it feels okay, go ahead and settle into your brief Shavasana. We've just circulated our internal energy. See if you notice what areas are really feeling it. The opposite of not taking is taking or stealing, which can have many forms. If we interrupt someone during a conversation, we steal their right to be heard. Plagiarizing or taking undue credit for someone else's ideas are also forms of stealing, and obviously stealing something from someone else. Our choices are obvious if we are keen to develop inner and outer happiness. We practice non-stealing. Give it another big breath here. All right, then we'll draw the right leg in towards the chest, giving it a squeeze, and drop it over to the left side, passing through a twist for a breath. And bring yourself back to neutral. Right leg stretches long, left leg hugs in and over. And bring it back to neutral. Give yourself a full body stretch. Roll onto one side, pause there, think something nice to yourself, something like, good job, I'm taking care of myself. And press yourself up. Wonderful. Coming to an easy seat. Let's rub the hands together, generating some warmth here. Big breath in. And breathing out, bring the hands together in front of your heart. Next inhale, move the hands apart an inch or 2. And breathing out, let the hands come close but not touch. Breathing in, move the hands apart. And let them draw back together. One more time. Hands mimicking the movement of the lungs. maybe sensing the energy between your hands. Eventually letting the hands connect, lifting your heart so it connects to the thumbs. If you'd like to chant one round of Om, big breath in. Aum. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May there be peace, peace, peace. A deep bow of gratitude to you and to the teachings. Thank you for sharing your time, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.